All right, here's a little phenomenon in Excel which often confuses people. Um, Sometimes when you see a blank cell in Excel, it actually is a blank cell because it's been formulated and it's returning an error or whatever that you've told it to show as blank. So you've actually used a calculation or a formula that results in there being a blank cell, in which case it shows blank. However, sometimes, like here, where I've just entered values, I've entered nothing in there, so it looks blank. But technically speaking, Excel will see that cell as having a 0. So let me just show you what I mean. If I put equals and that to G9, and then I copy that and paste the formula down that cell, you can see there it shows 7, but then where it's got a blank, it says 0, and then 3, 8, so on and so forth. So that would show a 0, which you may not want it to show as a 0. You may want it to show as blank. When you're looking at values and you're adding them up, that doesn't really make a difference. If you're doing the average value, that does make a difference, because when you work out the average here, what it'll do is it won't include that 0. And when you do it over here, it will. In fact, if we have a look here, if we do the average there, it doesn't, you can see 4.88889. It doesn't include the 0. Whereas when we do the average here, then all of a sudden it says 4.4. So it is including that 0. So sometimes you don't want it to show the 0. Other times might be if you're doing an index and a lookup, an index and match to look up a value here, and you want it specifically to be blank, all of a sudden it's showing a 0. So how do we overcome that? Well, all we do is we do what we call nested formulas. So whatever formula you've got here I've just got a simple one cell reference, but you may have a long formula. If you actually do if, the beginning, and then you copy your entire formula that you've got after that if, and then you type in equals blank, then show blank, otherwise, and then you paste your formula back in again and close the brackets. So when I've got G9, you would have your entire formula. So you want to copy that entire formula, excluding the equals. You don't want to include the equal sign, but everything else, you want to copy that before you start typing this in, so that you know you've got the exact right formula in twice. So you put equals if, there's your formula, equals blank, then show blank, otherwise, and paste your formula in again and close the brackets. Because what that will do is it'll look here and go, is that blank? And if it is, it'll make it blank rather than showing a 0. But if it does have a 0 there, it will show a 0 because it's not blank. But if it's a blank cell, it will show as blank. So now when we copy that down, it now shows blank instead of a 0, which means that the average now, which is what we're looking at, 4.8889, 4.8889, it is now correct, and it looks correct, and it calculates correctly, and everyone's happy. So yeah, hopefully that'll help you.